Welcome back to another video email because I don't want to type. I don't want to type out all my thoughts. I feel like I express what I'm trying to say better by just doing videos. What do you know? I was thinking this morning and I was like, man, I need to give something to producers who are trying to not be or do what I'm doing. So here's the 5 best ways that I think are the most effective ways to grow as a producer if you're not trying to show your face on camera, which could be a lot of you. And I get it, dude. I was in the studio the other day filming for a video, making songs, making music. And dude, it's just fun sitting in the studio sometimes and just making music. Like it's a fun vibe. So I get it. It's fun posting stuff on. It's fun posting without your face. You know, I get it. We're producers. It's a vibe. So here are the 5 ways. I was just thinking about it right now. Number 1, send melodies. A lot of the producers I work with nowadays that will like drop a song or whatever together, it's because they're sending me melodies. I have a small group of producers that, you know, typically either they're on Instagram or, you know, they're in my Discord or something where they make fire melodies and they get through to me and I listen to them and I'm like, hey, here's my good quality email for melodies. Send me melodies. We end up putting out songs, sometimes putting out packs together. You know, there's so many different ways. And I just think it's an easy way to, because if you're like a producer working with big artists or you're any kind of big producer at all, you know, loops is just the wave because it's more time efficient to have a bunch of dope loops. Like if you sit there and make a loop for an hour and the artist isn't feeling it, you just wasted an hour. So you can cipher through a bunch of loops. Gives you the best opportunity to be featured in, like, for me, like videos, songs that we drop on Kyle Beats Collective, or you know, like maybe we'll do a pack together or something. It's just a good way to get your brand out there, is to make fire melodies. Number 2, TikTok videos with just screen recordings. I've never really seen anyone talk about this, but I feel like a really engaging way to show off your music is, I got the mic right here, by the way, so that's why if I'm leaning over. A good way to show off your music is literally by showing the FL Studio screen and playing the audio of the beat you made. Everyone's gonna wait for the build up, wait for the drop, and they can feel it a lot better too. Like I've seen some of it on TikTok. I haven't really seen anyone do it on YouTube, which is interesting. But literally just playing the beat. If you have a dope style, if you have a dope way of making music, like there's a bunch of like cool things visually on the screen. Like if you make music in a crazy way, where you have all these wild transitions. Like I've seen it work on TikTok, Twitter, probably works on Instagram too. Could be an interesting thing. But you have to have, for all these, like you have to also be good at your craft. So make sure that you're, you know, practicing every day if you're trying to be a producer. Number 3, YouTube videos / tutorials with screen recordings and B-roll. I would only recommend doing tutorials if you have something to offer that is fresh and new. There's always going to be new like tutorials for 808s, and like the music is constantly changing. So there's always going to be a need for like updated tutorials. I did updated tutorials from my own tutorials like 4 or 5 years ago, recently on Kyle Beats too. So that's what I'd recommend, is only doing tutorials if, you know, you think that you can offer something new or something fresh, something, if you can really offer something and not just doing it to just try to grow your brand. I wouldn't do any of this to try to grow your brand. I would do it all just to, like you can't have the mindset of I'm trying to promote myself. You have to have the mindset of, you have to have a different mindset of like, I guess it is trying to grow your brand, but to try to build your own communities essentially. When you're sending melodies, it's because you want to make a great song. When you're doing TikTok videos, it's because you want to try to get people to be entertained for 60 seconds or 30 seconds. And it's not because you're trying to selfishly grow your brand. But I mean, you're going to do that anyways. So congrats. And also just YouTube videos as well. I think there's a lot of different ways you could tell stories. Or my favorite person who does this is probably Chew. Chew does not show his face. Doesn't show his face, makes really good content. Has a mic like this, Shure SM7B, puts a nice compressor on it. And makes a lot of dope content, and you don't even see his face. I think it's really cool. and there's a need for content like that on the internet in general. Number 4 is sending beats to reachable artists. What I mean by this is, someone that's reachable for me right now would be someone with, probably not signed to a label, or maybe signed to a label, but like someone that is, couple million, like 1 million, 2 million monthly listeners is a nice, like, even ground for me. I've been in contact with people that have a lot more than that, but like the reachable is like anywhere around 1 million monthly listeners. Obviously anything under that, a couple 100K on Instagram, those are my reachable artists. So for you, if you have literally zero, I'd recommend just finding someone that's dope that has no followers. From my YouTube videos, you can see that there's a lot of people out there that are dope that have no followers. Like literally Barry Otto had 13 monthly listeners. All the people I've found have pretty much been unknown. So there's a lot of dope artists out there. You can make dope music with them, and just keep making music, because some of them are gonna slowly blow up and get 200,000 views, and then you can show another artist, say, look, this song I have has 200,000 views. Like, it's a fire song. Let's work on something, and you can keep climbing your way up that way. And it's just a way to grow by just building that catalog one level at a time with lower level artists, and then with artists that have some, and then eventually you'll hit someone that's like, has got that 300,000, is making a living off of music, and then you can start working with them, and then they branch out. And it's a slow grind, but you can do it without showing your face on the internet. Number 5 is the classic way that everyone tries to do it, but I have some advice on it, is putting type beats on YouTube. And I said, but in all caps, do something different. This is something that I don't think anyone ever understands in the history of life. Every single person on earth doesn't understand the concept of doing something different, because I get it. Like the first beats I made, I was just trying to copy other people's beats. I was just listening to Jalil Beats and copying all of his beats, and then I go to this other producer and copy all their beats, because you're not skilled enough yet to actually do it, which is fine. But if you are to the point where you're skilled enough and you have dope beats and you have creative ideas, just try something different. It's probably not going to work at the start. It's got to be something that you post on YouTube. If you're doing type beats, it's got to be something that's new and fresh, but isn't so far like left field that people just don't understand it. I've seen people on YouTube, man, they're posting like the saddest beat ever. That's the title. It's like the saddest beat of all time, and then they're getting millions and millions of views and selling beats and just stuff like that. Like, think a little bit outside the box. Like, try to be more like a YouTuber than just copying everyone else's type beats, because you want to have your own type beat channel. That's it. I think all those are effective. I think number two and number 5, I think they're all kind of fire, actually. But my favorite, if I was going to come up right now, I would do number 2. I would do number 2. I'd probably do 2, 3. I'd probably do 2, 4, and 5 if I was going to come up now. Send beats to reachable artists. Do TikTok videos with screen recordings. And the thing is if you did like a 2 and a 4, like TikTok videos with screen recordings and sending beats to reachable artists, it's going to be a lot easier to find those new artists. That's the other thing that people don't talk about, is like making dope content on YouTube, even if you're not trying to show your face, helps you connect with people, dude. Like a lot of the people that I connect with, it's because they're posting content online and maybe they get 400 views, but one of those views is me. And then I go, hey, like, we should do something together. And depending on who that person is what depends on what we do. But it helps you. Content is not just a way to get your brand out there, but it's a way to network. I've networked with crazy people just because of content, like Russ and a bunch of different artists and producers. And it's just a way to not only, build a life for yourself and build your brand and grow everything you're trying to grow and get your beats out there, but it's also a really good way of networking. That's it. That's my video of the week. Hope you got something out of this. I'm going to be dropping a couple of cool things the next few days for like little discounts on packs and stuff. So don't miss my emails. I'm trying to just provide you as much value as possible, and this is way too long. The retention's gone. I need to cut it. Where is it? Here it is. Boom. See you later. Have a good day.